At first, there's confusion. People don't expect you to walk away. They're used to your replies, your presence, your attention. So when that presence fades into silence, their mind races. Did I do something wrong? Why haven't they replied yet? Are they trying to make me feel something? The Stoic does not vanish to manipulate. He vanishes to protect his peace, but others rarely see it that way. To them, your absence is an unsolvable puzzle. They search for clues, analyze conversations, and scroll through old messages, trying to make sense of your quiet exit. But sometimes, confusion is the first symptom of someone realizing they never really understood your value. As confusion deepens, guilt begins to creep in. They replay moments, conversations, jokes that went too far, criticisms they thought were harmless, and suddenly, the silence you left behind becomes a mirror that reflects how they may have treated you. Guilt is uncomfortable because it forces people to consider that maybe, just maybe, they pushed someone away who never asked for much except peace and respect. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. When you walk away, it forces others to question their own behavior. And sometimes, guilt is the answer. There's a strange curiosity that awakens when someone disappears, especially someone they thought they figured out. They start checking your status, your stories, your online presence, looking for signs. But you've mastered the art of the quiet fade. You're not gone. You're just no longer accessible. And that is powerful. Stoicism teaches us to withdraw. When noise becomes chaos, your disappearance is not just an absence, it's a disruption of expectations, and that disruption makes you far more interesting than presence ever did. When the silence stretches, curiosity turns to fear. People fear closure they didn't control. They fear stories ending without explanation. And when you disappear, you take their sense of control with you. Stoicism reminds us, don't be overheard complaining, not even to yourself. You didn't explain your departure. You didn't beg for understanding. You simply left, and in that quiet, they face a new fear, that you may never return, that they no longer have access to the energy they once took for granted, and that haunts them more than anger ever could. With time, regret sets in. They remember your kindness, your reliability, your calm presence, and they begin to feel the full weight of what they lost. Regret doesn't scream. It whispers at 2m. It echoes in memories, and it hits hardest when there's no chance to fix things. You didn't disappear to teach them a lesson. You disappeared because you were done being ignored, disrespected, or misunderstood. Now they regret not noticing you sooner, not valuing your quiet loyalty, not realizing that one day you might just walk away and never look back. Jealousy is a bitter feeling, and it often emerges when people see you thriving in your absence. Maybe you're not showing off. Maybe you're just focused on yourself, your peace, your goals, your growth. But to them, it feels like a wound. How can they be doing so well without me? Do I even matter anymore? Stoicism reminds us to be indifferent to praise or blame. To focus on what we can control. Your progress is not a performance, it's a personal revolution. But still, from the outside, your growth without them is salt on their ego, and jealousy whispers the truth they don't want to admit. You never needed them as much as they thought you did. For some, silence is the ultimate insult, and when they can't get a reaction from you, they get angry. They might send passive-aggressive messages, try to provoke you, or act like you were the one who wronged them. But a Stoic man doesn't react with rage. He chooses detachment over drama, silence over chaos. Your refusal to engage is not weakness, it's strength and restraint. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Their anger is not your burden. It's their unresolved emotion meeting your evolved mindset. Over time, even those who were upset begin to see things differently. They start to admire your discipline, your self-respect, your ability to walk away with dignity. In a world addicted to attention and validation, your quiet withdrawal is rare. You didn't beg, you didn't chase, you simply disappeared with purpose. And eventually, even critics recognize that kind of emotional mastery isn't weakness, it's power. They begin to notice. No one replaces your presence. Others talk more, others stay longer, but none bring the depth you brought. They feel it in crowded rooms. In shallow conversations. In fake laughter. Your disappearance left a void, not because you were perfect, but because you were real. And loneliness isn't always about being alone. It's about realizing the one who made you feel most seen is gone. When all emotions settle, they reflect. They begin to ask the harder questions. Why did they leave? Was I too careless? Did I ever really see them clearly? Your silence forces introspection, and in that silence, they meet parts of themselves they've long ignored. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your absence becomes the way forward for them and for you. It pushes them to grow. To confront their flaws. To become better. And that's the quiet gift of your disappearance. At the end of the emotional cycle comes respect, even from those who once misunderstood you. They respect your boundaries, your discipline, your choice to walk away from what no longer serves you. You didn't try to prove your worth, you simply withdrew it, and that speaks louder than words ever could. Respect isn't demanded, it's earned, and often, it's only fully given in your absence. Stoicism teaches us not to chase what doesn't belong to us, but to protect our peace. Like it's sacred. To walk away when necessary. To speak through silence. When you disappear, it's not about making others suffer. It's about freeing yourself, and in that freedom, you become unforgettable. So let them feel, let them wonder, let them reflect, because sometimes the most powerful message is the one delivered in silence.